Okay, Lynn, I wanted to create you a video to help explain the process of installing the HTML file that we'll use for the signature into Apple Mail. It's a little bit fancy, but I'm sure you can handle it. So here's the process. So the first thing we need to do is go into Apple Mail and create a new Sig file. We do that by going up to Mail, Preferences, and creating a new Sig. Doesn't matter what we call it. Doesn't even matter what's in there. We'll just call it test. Add test in there now. And then we close out of Preferences, and that saves a new Sig file. And where it saves it is in a folder that's inside your users folder. So users, whatever your username is, library, mail, v2, mail data, signatures. So it created that new Sig file here. So what we're going to do is we got to save that HTML file in a format, and then we're going to replace that Sig we just created and put it into this folder. So get a little ahead of myself, but let's do this. Let's go back to Safari. And what we're going to do in Safari is we're going to open the Sig file that I sent you, the HTML file. So here it is. We're going to open it, and we're going to save it from Safari. That's kind of important. We're going to save it in a format called Web Archive. Let's give it a name. We'll call it Sig Test. It doesn't really matter what we call it. .web archive. And we'll save it into your folder. So again, we're saving the HTML file out into a format called .web archive. In this case, we're putting it into your folder. All right? So once we've done that, now we can move that file into this folder. So the library folder for the signatures. So here is your folder. We just created that folder, Sig Test Web Archive. We're going to drag that file into the signatures folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to rename it with the name of the new Sig file we just created. So we just got to figure out which Sig file is the latest one we created. So here it is. I can tell by the time down here that this is the latest file. And all I really want to do is copy the name. So I'm going to copy the name of it, and then I can basically get rid of it. I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to throw it in the trash. And I'll do it the way you can see. Move to trash. And then I'm going to take that Sig test file. I'm going to paste that name we just gave it. Okay? So what we did is we created the web archive file from Safari. We put it into the library location, mail data, signatures, and we renamed it to that new Sig file we just created. So basically we're overwriting the default Sig file we just created in Mail with the HTML file which we just gave the name of the default Sig file. Okay, hope you're following me. Now when we go back to Mail and we create a new Sig file. Whoops, one thing I forgot. I've got to quit out of Mail and come back in. So it remembers it. create a new file. Oops. It has the new signature data in it. So we rewrote that default Sig file with the HTML code that we had, and now we've got a new Sig based on the name that we want. Okay, hopefully that made sense.